Welcome back everybody for the last of our instructional triad videos. We're gonna quickly go over minor, diminished, augmented, and sus4 triads in the open positions. Or sorry, not open position, but open triad kind of state where the triad spans more than one octave. So in past videos we kind of went over how each one relates to major. So like minor, you have to flat the third, diminished, you flat the third and the fifth, augmented, you sharp the fifth, and sus, you replace the third with the fourth. So we could kind of do what we did in our last video here with the open major triads, and we could kind of take our minor triad and move the middle note up an octave and figure each one out like that. But what I find a little more efficient and a little less just grueling and daunting is to just take your major triad and do what we did where we just change one note to get the next triad. So, for example, if we have a C major triad in this shape here, using string 6, 4, and 3, all we have to do is lower the third, so you have to make sure you know where the third is, of course, on the guitar, in your key that you're in. So in this case, the third is right in the middle. I just have to lower it to make the flat third. If I'm in this shape here, I will just lower again the middle note, but I'll have to do a different fingering. And then if I'm in this spread out shape on string 6, 5, and 3, I'll lower the fifth string to the 6th fret. So there's the minor triad. So I would encourage you to go through every single one and figure out the minor. Once you have those figured out, I would encourage you to go through the basic exercises where you just go and go up the strings with one shape, doing all the inversions. Trying to stay on the same string groups too will help in the beginning. And then change string group, so I'm going to change this to string 3, and then come back down. Change to string 6, 5, 3. Where am I here? You can tell I don't use these ones as much. There we go. So that would be one string group, and then I'll do the same on string 5 as the root and string 4 as the root. And do all the inversions. So that would be minor. For diminish, we want to flat the 5 on top of the 3. So from our major, we flat the third, and now we flat the 5. So it's going to give us these kind of a little more spread out in some cases, sometimes more squished together, but just different shapes to memorize, and just try to always relate them back to the major or whatever one came before it. So maybe relate diminished to minor, and that's a little easier to remember where they come from. So you're not having to necessarily memorize like 3 times 3, so 9 times 5 different types or something. It's like almost 50 shapes. That's way too much. So if you can just stick with 1 or 2 of the shapes and then keep them altered in your mind by one note, you'll find the rest. So the next one will be augmented. The cool thing about this one, just like with the closed triads, is the shapes are all the same, right? Because if you go sharp 5 here, sharp 5 there, and then last one is going to be sharp 5 there. So you're just going to take this 4-2-1 shape, move it up by 3 frets at a time. It'll be a little bit different. Nope, same on the next string actually. That's kind of nice. And the last one is going to be a little bit different because we don't have as many strings to play with. But still the same shape, will just be moving up and down. And of course you can like change which string you're on. So you get a different shape to play with. So that's augmented. Parallel movement, quite easy. Just as I said in the last video, remember to be aware of what note you're on in the triad so you don't just get lost, because it is very easy just to mindlessly move around by 3 frets at a time, not even thinking about it. So think like, okay, second inversion, 5th is in the bass, that's the sharp 5, G sharp in the key of C. Root position, okay, there's a C in the bass, oh, the 3rd's on the top, okay, the 5th is in the middle. And then now we're at the 3rd in the bass, 1st inversion. So yeah, try to keep a good idea of where you are. Finally, we got sus. These ones are interesting. You're just going to be taking, like we talked about, the third and replacing it with the fourth. So these sound quite nice. As I have mentioned before, I quite like them. And depending on what string group you're on, they can sound pretty cool. So you're going to go through all the rest of the triads as well. Now this is like a short video just telling you all these triads. It's going to take probably, if you practice every day, at least a month, I would say, to get really comfortable and quick with all these. I mean, I think I could do some work myself still with some of them, like the diminished and suspended. I could probably practice a little more, especially in all 12 keys. Like, if you think 12 keys, 5 triad types, 12 times 5, 60, times 3 different voicings per string group, 180 times, yeah, you get it. It's a lot of variation and a lot of options for you to practice. But the good thing is, once you start to get them under your fingers, you have all of these options. So let's say if you're soloing and you play something and you're just in the key of G major, let's say for this time, because I'm tired of C, you end up on the 5th after doing a little arpeggio, end up with your pinky, and you want to play a chord underneath it. You know, this major shape now. If you're playing like a 2-5-1 type thing, and you play your A minor, you can do a little A minor there, and then you know your D major triad. So you can have a 2-5-1 like chords incorporated into your solos pretty easily just using basic triads. They aren't going to sound super hip, super modern, but it will allow you to comp and solo like relatively right together with ease, I guess. So I'm trying to say. So it's worth working on, because you don't want to be in a situation where you end up on a note, like we'll take that same one, and you end up on a note and you're like, oh, my pinky is stuck here, but I want to play an A minor shape, but I have no idea how. What if only I had landed with my middle finger, and then by that time the chord is already gone and it's too late. So that's why we're doing all these different inversions and possibilities, and in all keys, because you're going to find every chord, you know, when you're playing through a few songs. So that's the reasoning. Just trying to encourage you, do not get discouraged by how many things there are to practice. That's why the exercises exist as well, so go back and check out those exercise number 1, exercise number 2, that go across the string groups and staying on the string groups, so this way and this way, because that will give you a nice kind of form or a nice structure to practice all of these options within. So good luck, and we're gonna get into some deeper exercises and deeper applications in the next video of these triads before we're all done with them. So happy practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.